Did you know Income Tax Department tracks 46 of your financial transactions?
Annual information statement. So what is annual information statement? What all expenses, income and statement does it cover? Watch the video till the end to know more. Annual information statement,
which was launched last year by the Income Tax Department, or AIS as it is called in the short form, contains information about all the income from various sources, including exempted income, as well as all the investments done by you in the financial year. So let us look at the 46 financial transactions that are covered in the AIS. The first is salary. So all the salary that is paid to an employee along with any tax deducted, or basically the gross salary, will show up in the AIS. The AIS will also show the TAN of the employer as well as the PAN of the employee. Further, if there are any deductions that you have claimed, you will need to file your income taxes, and at that time you can claim the exemptions. The second section is the rent income from various sources. So if you have given your PAN to your tenant who further has given it to his employer for HRA exemption, it will show up. Or if you are earning a rent income of more than 50,000 rupees per month, or rental income from various land, machinery, etc., where TDS has been deducted at 10%, will show up. The rent will be summed up at a PAN level. However, if you have multiple tenants, then the total income from rent received from all the tenants will be summed up under Taxpayer Information Summary, or TIS. The third information covered is balance in accounts. First, if there are any accounts opened other than savings or fixed deposit, such as recurring deposit accounts, they will reflect in your AIS. Also, at the end of the year, if any bank account contains balances of more than rupees 50,000, they will reflect in your TIS. Number 4. Cash deposits made in current accounts will be reflected in AIS. Also, deposits made in other accounts where the financial entities are required to report the transactions to Income Tax Department will also be reflected. Form 61A has to be filed by the financial institutions or the reporting agency such as banks, cooperative banks, NBFCs, post office, etc. Number 5. Cash withdrawals that are made from the current accounts will be reflected in AIS. Also, any cash withdrawals done from accounts where the entities are mandated to report to Income Tax Department, such as banks, cooperative banks, NBFCs, etc., will also be reported in the AIS. Number 6. Any credit or debit card issued to you during the financial year will be reported in the AIS. Number 7. Dividend income from equity shares or mutual funds will reflect in the AIS. Also, any tax or TDS deducted by the company or mutual funds will reflect in the AIS. Dividend income will be listed on the basis of the PAN of the reportee, information source and value. Number 8. Interest from savings bank accounts. Any interest that is paid, credited or accrued during the financial year to all your savings accounts will be reported in the AIS. Remember, tax is payable on any interest that you earn on savings account. However, tax is exempted on interest up to rupees 10,000 from savings bank account in a year per PAN. Number 9. Investments in time deposits. Any investments done in time deposits such as bank FDs or FDs from NBFCs, etc., will be reported in the AIS. The reporting entities include banks, NBFCs, etc. Number 10. Interest from these time deposits. So any interest that is earned on fixed deposits, recurring deposits, etc., during the financial year from banks, NBFCs, post offices is reported in the AIS. Also, any TDS that is deducted by the reporting entities is also shown up in the AIS. The reporting entities include banks, post offices, etc. Remember, the interest from fixed deposits or time deposits is completely taxable in the hands of the taxpayer at the rate of his tax slab. However, super senior citizens and senior citizens are allowed to claim exemptions of rupees 50,000 on interest from savings account, FDs, etc. under section 80 TTB. Number 11. Purchase of securities and mutual fund units. Any investments done during the year for purchase of securities or units of mutual funds are reported in the AIS. These includes any SIPs that you do, any lump sum investments that you make, any shares that you purchase, or any other securities that you have bought in the whole financial year. Number 12. Capital gains from the sale of securities or mutual fund units. RTAs, which are registrar and transfer agents such as CAMS and CARVI, or depositories such as NSDL and CDSL, are mandated to report any transactions of sale for stocks, mutual funds, or any other securities based on the PAN and name of transactor to Income Tax Department. Yes, as you are aware, long-term capital gains on equities is after 1 year from the purchase date. It is taxed at 10%. There is a deduction of 1 lakh rupees of profit on the long-term capital gains on equity every year. Also, short-term capital gains on equity are taxed at 15%. However, on the debt side, the long-term criteria although is holding period of minimum of 3 years. So, after 3 years, for the long-term capital gain, the investor pays 20% taxes post indexation. For the short term, the taxation is as per your tax slabs. All these transactions are reported in your AIS, and you need to ensure you have the purchase date, sale date, and the values of all these transactions to report you're filing your income tax return. Number 13, interest from other sources. If you have received interest from sources other than savings account, term deposits, etc., then the paying entity will have to report these interest transactions to the income tax department, and they will reflect in your AIS. Some of these transactions include interest from P2P lenders or interest from NBFCs, etc. Number 14, cash payments. Any cash payments done during the year for purchase of goods and services such as bank order, bullion, jewelry, or even prepaid instruments in cash will be reflected in AIS wherever the reporting entities are mandated to do so by the law. Number 15, receipt of PF balance or withdrawal of PF balance from the employer under section 111. If you have withdrawn PF after 5 years of continuous service, the whole amount of PF is tax free. However, if you have withdrawn more than 50,000 before 5 years of service, TDS will be deducted. Also, the total amount which is withdrawn before 5 years of continuous service will be taxed. So you will need to file this in your AIS. However, the receipt will show up in the AIS. Also, effective FY 21-22, the employee's contribution to EPF, which is more than 2.5 lakhs, is taxable, or actually the interest is taxable on this amount. So, if in this financial year, which ended on 31st March 2022, if you have given a contribution of more than 2.5 lakhs to EPF, please ensure that you show the interest earned on the excess amount and file it accordingly, because you will need to pay taxes on that. Number 16 is receipt from life insurance. Receipts from your life insurance policy are exempted under section 1010D. So the 16th transaction, which is the receipts from life insurance policy, includes all the transactions or all the receipts from your life insurance policy. However, remember, if the conditions are not met, then the TDS will be deducted or you will need to pay taxes on these receipts. However, if the conditions are met, then you can claim exemption while filing your ITR under section 1010D. Number 7, withdrawals of monies from National Savings Scheme. National Savings Scheme is also known as Post Office Savings Scheme. All the monies which are received either due to premature withdrawal or due to maturity of your certificates will reflect in your AIS. Number 18, interest on income tax refund. So the income tax department pays you interest on the tax amount refund in case of a delay. The interest is at the rate of 0.5% per month, and it is taxable at the hands of the taxpayer under income from other sources. So yes, income tax department also pays you interest in case of delay. However, you will be taxed on it. Number 19, purchase of foreign currency. Any purchase of foreign currency for the purpose of buying equity, debt instruments, real estate, etc., or for opening a bank account in abroad, or in case of pilgrimage, etc., will reflect in your AIS. Number 20, any foreign packages or overseas trips planned where the payment is done by the traveler will also reflect in AIS. Number 21, rent payments. So AIS does not only show the rents received by you, but it also shows the rent paid by you, provided you have paid a TDS on it. So if you are paying a rent of more than 50,000 rupees a month, you are required to deduct TDS at the rate of 5%. All this information will reflect in your AIS. Number 22 is purchase of any immovable property during the year. So any immovable property such as land, building, etc. will reflect in your AIS if it is purchased in the previous financial year. Number 23, receipts of monies from the sale of immovable properties. So if you have sold any property in this financial year, then it will reflect in the AIS. Also, if the property sale consideration exceeds rupees 50 lakhs, tax will have to be collected at source. Number 24 is the receipt of foreign remittance. So any consideration received as foreign remittance for technical expertise or through sale of foreign shares, equities, etc. will reflect in the AIS. If you are receiving rent from plant and machinery where tax has been deducted at the rate of 2%, the same will reflect in your AIS as well. Winnings from lottery or crossword puzzles and any tax deducted on it will all reflect in the AIS. Similar to the lottery or crossword puzzles, any winnings from a horse race will also be reflected under section 115BB in your AIS. Number 28. Interest from investments in infrastructure debt funds will also be covered under AIS. Number 29. Interest from any specified company for a non-resident is covered under AIS. Point 30 is that any interest earned from bonds and securities of governments, etc. is also covered in your AIS. Number 31. If a non-resident receives income from an Indian company under the section 115(1)(a) to (a)(b), in that case, the same will reflect in the AIS as well. Income from Indian companies or dividends from global depository receipts as specified under Income Tax Act 115AC as received by the NRIs will also reflect in the AIS. Number 33. Any commission received from selling of insurance policies will show up in the AIS. Receipt of commission from the sale of lottery tickets is also shown in the AIS. Number 35. Any amount received from the sale of a building will reflect in the AIS. The details will be taken from Form 26QB. Number 36 are off-market debit transactions. The depositories and the RTAs are required to submit details of any off-market debit transactions done in the year, such as gifting of shares, mutual funds, or transmission of units due to the death of first holder, etc. Similar to off-market debit transactions, off-market credit transactions will also be reported in your AIS. Point 38 and 39 cater to the business transactions. So any business expenses occurred during the year will reflect in your AIS, as well as any receipts from business, which includes brokerage, commission, etc. will also reflect in your AIS. Number 40 are miscellaneous payment, which include any payments made such as life insurance premium, credit cards, to a hotel, etc., where the reporting entity is required to report these transactions to Income Tax Department. In such cases, the same will reflect in your AIS as well. Number 41, purchase of vehicle. Any purchase of vehicle where tax has been deducted at source will also reflect in your AIS. Income from units of business trust which are reported by the payer in Form 27Q will also reflect in recipient's AIS. Income from units of investment fund which are reported by the payer through Form 26Q are also reported in recipient's AIS. TDS is debited on the income from investment securitization trust, and the same is reported by the payer on a quarterly basis through Form 27Q. This will reflect in the recipient's AIS. Number 45, sale of vehicle. So any proceeds from the sale of vehicle will show up in the AIS of the seller. The last point, number 46, is regarding the income to non-resident sports person or sports associations under Income Tax Section 115 BBA. So if any non-resident sportsman receives income in India through sources other than those from winnings of the game or by writing articles, the same will have to be reported in the AIS of the recipient, and these will be taxable. Thank you for watching this video till the end. If you have any feedback or any questions, please do mention in the comments below. Keep following GR Finvisors for more such interesting updates. We'll keep you updated. Thank you.